Hey, and welcome to OZChris versus Zenescope Entertainment for a couple of titles that came out towards the end of June. We've got for reviews Gretel number 4 and Oz Heart of Magic number 3. So starting off with Gretel number 4, the penultimate issue of this 5-issue series. Story by Joe Brucho, Ralph Tedesco, Dave Franchini, and Ben Mears. Ben Mears is the writer. The art by Alan Otero, coloring by CC De La Cruz. The cover A which is what I got, by Martin Coccolo and Ivan Nunes. So, starting off with the flashback, we learn that the witch that turned Gretel into what she is actually used to be the lover of Samuel, who is Gretel's teacher. So we get a recount of their life together, having to suffer living in the infamous witch burning site, which is Salem. So them being witches, having to live in Salem in secret, it is a very tough and troubling life. Doesn't help when she starts recruiting more women to become witches as well, and this results in, of course, the witch trials, the burnings, them having to leave Salem, as the children that she created started to grow stronger, becoming some of the witches that eventually Gretel would hunt down. But one day, when Gretel becomes involved, the day that Gretel becomes who she is, Samuel decided to betray her and leave her. And while this is all going on, Gretel meets an actual witch hunter who's revealed to be called Caliber, and is interrogated about what's going on, wants the truth of what's going on with Gretel, all these witches, etc. And in the end, Gretel and Caliber decide to team up to deal with this world-ending threat once and for all. So, nice, simple, I'll leave it there. Story, I'm going to give 3.5 out of 5. It was a nice, simple story. We got a lot of good backstory about the witch that turned Gretel into what she is. More about Samuel as well. His involvement, turns out he has a much bigger role within this whole story of Gretel than initially believed, and finally find out who this assassin is. Turns out she's a witch hunter called Caliber. Is also after that. Also after the same witch that Gretel is after, and is intrigued about what the hell is just going on. Why another witch is hunting a witch. So a lot of good exposition, explaining of a lot of characters, and a lot of the backstory leading up to the finale of this story. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give 4 out of 5. The art and coloring was really, really good. This time, as I've said before, I've definitely liked the flashback art and coloring more than the present day stuff. But this one, it was equal footing. Both were good in my opinion. I didn't think one was better than the other. I think overall the art and the coloring was really, really good. The cover, which was cover A, I'm going to give that a 4 out of 5. Good art, good coloring. Doesn't, I would say kind of has something to do with what happens in the issue. Mainly just, in a weird way it does. I'm trying to explain why, but honestly I can't. I've lost my reasoning for some reason, but I think overall it is a good looking cover. So on to Oz Heart of Magic number 3, story by Dave Franchini and Terry Kavanagh, written by Terry Kavanagh, the art by Marcella Muller, coloring by Leonardo Pacioretty. The cover, I got cover B this time. Cover B by Michael Starr and Maria Hedwin Zaldova. Names. So in Oz, the wizard reveals that he's left traps to stop Dorothy from reuniting with Glinda and finding a power to help to stop him. And this is in the form of this giant metallic or robotic being called Talos, who decimates almost half of her group there. Sorry. Voice. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. But the wizard reveals that he did meet Glinda and what was the other one's name? Glinda and Adraste. He did meet them before and trapped them. So it is Dorothy's kind of journey is now a bit pointless, and that he's using their powers for himself to rule Oz while disguised as Dorothy. So, but the main part of this issue is dealing with them trying to overcome Talos to reach their goal. But there is a sacrifice made, an unfortunate sacrifice made to defeat Talos, but it doesn't get easier there, as they are then met by 2 dragons. And we'll leave the story there. Story, I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I did. I enjoyed it. It was a nice middle of the story, huge conflict within the story. Plot is progressing really, really well. I'm still lost in a bit of parts, mainly because I'm not familiar with, as I said before, not familiar with the Oz series from Zenescope, although it's particularly my fault, not particularly the fault of the writers. That's the fault is me, the reader, having gone into this without reading the previous series. But anyway, it's still enough to understand, and the story's gone really well so far. The art and the coloring, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I think the art and coloring was really good in this. The double page spread introducing Talos, and then later on when we are introduced to the 2 dragons that are impeding their way, amazing. Definitely the best parts, the best uses of the art and coloring here. The cover itself, the cover B, I'm going to give this one a 4.5 out of 5. This is a great looking cover. It does have something to do with, in the book, Glinda and Adraste fighting against the wizard. Well, they didn't particularly fight him in the book, but they did come into an initial conflict before they were defeated. But mainly overall, it is a great looking cover. Definitely caught my attention. Just like, okay, I need to get this cover. This is a great looking cover. So that is it for those 2. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.